Better turned out broke. How I took back my life after my wife's betrayal. Welcome back to Breakup, cheater, where bad decisions catch up, karma doesn't pull punches, and the people who thought they were getting away with it. Well, let's just say their happily ever after looks more like a budget motel with no hot water. Today's story. A 6-year marriage torn apart by lies, late nights, and a woman who thought she deserved better. So I gave her exactly that, and better turned out to be broke, homeless, and stuck with a deadbeat. I'm 32, work in sales, and make a solid living. My wife, Sarah, 30, works part-time at a boutique. Her income barely covers her shopping habit, but it kept her busy since I took care of everything else. Life was comfortable, or so I thought. One weekend, I came home early from a business trip, hoping to surprise her. I rolled in around noon, expecting her to be home since she wasn't scheduled to work. But the driveway was empty. I shot her a text asking where she was. Out with friends, she replied. Seemed innocent enough. I spent the afternoon unwinding, waiting for her to come back. But she didn't stroll through that door until 3 in the morning. When I heard the front door creak open, I was already sitting in the dark, waiting. She tiptoed in like a teenager sneaking past curfew, but she wasn't quiet enough. Her hair was a mess, her clothes wrinkled, and that scent on her? Definitely not my cologne. She froze when she saw me. I asked where she'd been. She mumbled something about staying at her friend Jen's place after drinks ran late. But as she headed to the bathroom, I caught her pulling her hair over her neck, trying to cover something. Mark. My gut told me something wasn't right. The next morning, while she was in the shower, her phone was sitting on the counter. I'd never been one to snoop, but after last night, had to know. Her passcode was still the same, our anniversary. I unlocked it, and within seconds I found what I was looking for. Text thread with a guy named Jake. Not a name I recognized. And the messages, flirty as hell. Stuff like, "Can't wait to see you tonight. You looked so hot last time." Then I saw it. Plans to meet at a hotel. That's when my chest tightened. Kept scrolling. This wasn't new. They'd been at it for weeks, maybe longer. I took screenshots, sent them to my phone, and deleted the evidence from her log. When she came out of the shower, all smiles, asking what I wanted for breakfast, I played it cool. Said I wasn't hungry and needed to run some errands. In reality, I was driving around town, replaying everything in my head. The late nights, the excuses, the distance. It all clicked now. That night she said she was going out again. Girls' night. I nodded, let her go, and waited. Sure enough, she came back around 3 a.m., hair messy, clothes wrinkled, and reeking of that same cologne. This time I was waiting in the kitchen. I asked her point blank, "What's going on, Sarah?" She got defensive. Accused me of being paranoid. Said I didn't trust her. That's when I told her I'd seen the texts. Her face went pale. For a split second she froze, then flipped the script. "You're controlling. You've smothered me for years. I deserve better." That was it. "You want better," said my voice steady. "Go find it." She laughed, thinking I was bluffing. But I wasn't. I grabbed a suitcase, started throwing her stuff in. Clothes, shoes, that fancy jacket she loved. I carried it to the door and set it down. "Take it and go." She called me a loser and stormed out. The door slammed and I locked it. Deadbolt too. Next morning, I was up early. First thing I did was call the bank. We had joint accounts, checking, savings, and credit cards. I told them I wanted everything frozen. Took about 20 minutes, and just like that, Sarah was cut off. I had a separate savings account with some emergency cash, so I transferred what I needed. I spent the rest of the day sorting through her stuff. Her designer bags, shoes, and jewelry. Left them where they were. I figured she'd come back for them eventually, or not. Either way, I didn't care. A buddy of mine went through a nasty divorce a couple of years ago. He gave me his lawyer's number. Guy was no nonsense, sharp as a tack. I met with him that week, laid everything out. The texts, screenshots, hotel receipts I'd found in her email. She never logged out on my laptop. He nodded and said, "We've got a solid case." We drafted up divorce papers. I wanted a full split of assets and no alimony. Since she cheated and walked out, we had a strong chance of avoiding support. The process server found her at the motel she was staying at. Yeah, she was shacked up with Jake, living off her maxed-out credit cards. Few days later, Sarah showed up at my house. But she wasn't alone. Jake was with her. They were banging on the door, shouting. I checked the Ring camera and saw them. Her yelling that I owed her money, Jake threatening to make me pay. I hit record. Then I called the cops. By the time they got there, Sarah and Jake were gone, but I had the footage. My lawyer loved it. Said it was gold if she tried to pull anything later. Jake's downfall. Jake wasn't done. He showed up at my office one night after work. Drunk, angry, and smelling like a distillery. He tried to start a fight. Swung at me and missed. Security stepped in, cops showed up, and turns out Jake had a warrant for something else. He wasn't getting out anytime soon. Sarah comes crawling back. With Jake locked up and her cards maxed out, Sarah hit rock bottom fast. That's when the calls started. Different number but same sob story. She was crying, saying Jake wasn't who she thought he was. She wanted to work things out. I laughed. You got your better, Sarah. Enjoy it. Then I blocked that number too. But before I did, I emailed her the screenshots of her texts with Jake. Subject line. Memory lane. Jake's in jail. Sarah's broke, bouncing between a motel and a friend's couch. The divorce. Finalized. No alimony, assets split in my favor. I sold her designer bags and shoes, pocketed the cash, and treated myself to a steak dinner. She thought she deserved better. Turns out, better was a broke loser and a dingy motel. Meanwhile, I'm living my best life. So, if you ever find yourself in my shoes, remember, don't settle. When they say they deserve better, let them go find it. And sometimes, better comes with a side of karma. So what's the lesson here? If you cheat, lie, and demand better, you just might get it, just not the way you expected. Sarah wanted better. And ended up with nothing. What would you have done in Mark's shoes? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories where karma doesn't pull punches. See you next time on Breakup Cheater. Encourages audience interaction, comments, likes, subs.